Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Michael DiTullo. Welcome to another designer unboxing. Today I'm going to be opening up a pair of Allbirds sugar sliders. As usual, I'll start by just giving a once around the packaging before we get into the product. One of the things I love about Allbirds is they're primarily a direct-to-consumer brand, right? And so what I love is that the shoebox is actually the shipping box. So you don't have a lot of extra packaging here. This shipping box is also a really nice shoebox that's been thoughtfully designed. So we've got a really nice kind of sizing label here. This little shipping sticker is covering up the silhouette of the product, but it's really colorful. It looks really nice. It looks good in store, right? When you go to an Allbirds flagship store and you see these boxes stacked up, but it also makes for a nice shipper. The rest of it, just some simple branding. That way they can use this box for any product. This label is the only thing that identifies it as this product in particular. Another branding hit on the back. It's made from recycled cardboard. No branding on these surfaces. It's just a shipping label on this surface. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So again, thoughtfully designed, just one recycled paper kind of sticker holding this whole thing together. Nice little branding moment here when I open the box. From design to delivery and everything in between, Allbirds is a 100% carbon neutral business. This is something I didn't actually realize about Allbirds until I spoke to a friend that works there. I didn't realize how the sustainability is at the core of the business. Maybe that's something they could put a little bit more front and center in their messaging, but it is really nicely here on the packaging when you get into it. A couple other nice little packaging moments here. So we've got this little graphic signifying this is the sugar slider. A little bit of messaging here. We're not sugarcoating it. Shoes made from sugarcane don't just feel better, they're better for the planet too. Crafted using sweet foam, a revolutionary material made from the world's first carbon negative green EVA. The Sugar series is designed to start conversations and defy expectations. So for those of you who don't know, EVA is a foam very commonly used in the footwear industry. It's not the best material in terms of environmental impact. It feels great on the foot. It has great rebound properties. It's easy to cut and buff, injection mold or compression mold. So it has great properties to it, but a few brands like Allbirds, and I know Cole Haan is doing this as well, have been finding ways to try to make EVA from other materials. So here I assume sugar is a part of that process. Another little graphic moment here on this flap tread lighter. Let's get into the product itself. So this is a very kind of minimal product. I saw these when I was shopping in, where is that? I was in Santa Monica, I think. There's an Allbirds flagship store. I was down there doing some research. I saw these in the window and I was like, I gotta remember to pick up a pair of these. Minimal insert. Wonder if they actually even really need that. This product is so molded, it feels like it maybe wouldn't need that insert. What I loved about it though is just a very simple silhouette. So you got a one piece, it looks like an injection mold EVA, and that is 90% of the product, right? So not a lot of finishing. You can probably pull this out of the mold. This is probably the part line from the mold right here. You can see there's a little bit of flash. Somebody probably has to trim this when it comes out of the mold so it's a little bit neater. Using textures really nicely here. So we have this kind of heavy sandblast texture on this surface and on all of the kind of down surfaces, and then like a much lighter sandblast. Even it might be a light polish kind of on all these recessed areas. You have to think about this in terms of if this was a metal mold, right? The metal mold is the negative or of this. So everything that is raised here in the product would be recessed in the mold, and everything that's recessed here would be raised in the mold. So it's pretty easy to texture the mold and then come back and polish off the texture on all of the high spots, which would then give you this a little bit more in reflection, right? Can you see that reflection as I twist the product? All these things, the designer has to think through all of these little things. Really nice tread pattern. I think it's really fun. It's these kind of different kind of kidney bean and circle and donut shapes. And then we've got a little size marker down there in case anybody else wants to send me some other shoes. That's the size. The footbed is very similar. Doesn't look like it has that same slight texture shift as the bottom does. But again, it's kind of almost a one-piece product, right? So they probably mold this with these wings sticking up like this, right? So they can get it out of the mold, and then they're gonna post-apply this Velcro here. So simple die-cut Velcro that you'll notice the molding, there's a notch here so that it's fitting into that notch so you can't really get to the edge of the Velcro and pick at it with your finger. That's just little things like that make the product feel a little bit more finished. They also just improve the durability a little bit. And then looks like they're stock fitting this, but letting it be a little shorter there. The only other component on the shoe is this strap. So we've got a nice woven nylon. I don't know if you can see, there's actually some different thread colors in there. So there's kind of the main orange thread color, but then there's a magenta thread color as well. That strap is pushed through these two slots in the molded component, turned over and stitched down. Before they do that, this piece of Velcro is stitched on, I'm sure. And then, so you kind of finish the strap off. We've got this molded, feels like a TPU urethane part that's stitched on. Again, this is not necessary, but it just makes it feel a little more finished. It's gonna give you a little kind of tanned moment here when you put it on and off if you need to adjust that. But also it's gonna help prevent this from fraying, right? So this piece of woven nylon is woven in a strip, but then they are gonna have to die cut this radius, and that's all kind of an opportunity for that material to fray. So by sewing this urethane piece on here, we're just kind of protecting the edge of that material. We're also welding a little logo here. So nice Allbirds logo moment. Just a urethane weld, like a heat process. Very simply done, but effective. I love how tonal it is. Any other details here? Again, we have that footbed, slight little molding around kind of these toe locators. Probably not totally necessary. And then I don't know what this is. So I don't know if this is the CO2 that's made from making this shoe, or I guess they said it's a net negative, but it says plus 4.43, looks like kg CO2e. A little bit more messaging around what that means might make that a little bit more meaningful to folks, but I'm gonna assume that's some kind of an environmental story there. Looks like the way this mold comes together, so we've got a bottom to the mold, and then it looks like there's a top to the mold, and then there must be another split in the mold because you could see we've got this extra flashing here. So I'm gonna assume that again there'll be a top of this, and then maybe the two sides would come off, but I'm not seeing where there's another flash line. So I'd be curious to see this mold. It's probably pretty cool. And then another slight molded branding hit on the back here. And we've got a little bit of that tread lighter messaging happening on the medial side, the inside. But that's the product. I loved how just simple the design is, and I think when you boil a design down to be this simple, it gets to be kind of very kind of bold and iconic. It just has some very clean shapes. It has almost kind of a Mark Newson kind of an early 2000s blobject vibe to it that I really appreciate. Tends to be kind of my default aesthetic. These are going to be replacing an old pair of Hurley slides that I've been using to just kind of bop around the studio with. So these are going to be my new my new studio shoot and just kind of to chill out and do some work in. But excited to give them a run. That's pretty much it. Very simple product, very bold lines. Allbirds sugar slider. All right, everybody, Michael DiTullo. That's been another designer unboxing. If you like videos like this, give it a like, give it a subscribe, maybe share, and I'll see you next time.